Could you please tell me more about Nestle's blockchain system and how this is being used, particularly with regard to Nestle's sustainability targets?
Okay, so we've been starting to investigate blockchain 2 years ago, as I said, with IBM. So we were at the onset of the IBM Food Trust solution that is now available for everyone to join. But we thought it was a very interesting solution to bring transparency to consumers through bringing data from every actor's upstream of Nestle to be able to provide the data pertaining to their role in our value chain, as well as downstream with our customers such as Carrefour that we've been working with. And the aim was really for consumer to be able to explore and access data related to the product they were buying. So IBM was the most mature solution at the time. I still think it is the most mature solution. So we've been working with them. But then after we work with this initial use case on transparency and traceability, we look at other solutions and other use cases that came from the learnings of this whole first phase in 2017 and 2018 of our exploration. And then we looked at how we can back the sustainability claim that we have through data and through verifiable data flow from our partners and from our suppliers and customers. So we've engaged with OpenSC, which is a company, an organization that was funded by the WWF and by the Boston Consulting Group Digital Venture earlier this year. And really, this is to bring the group commitment and full transparency on certain supply chain to life through technology, and track these commodities through our operation to consumers, to bring that to our consumers.
Could I get a few more specifics from you, from the tech side, on how this is used to sort of track products and how it pertains back to sustainability in this case?
So the aim is really for every actors along the value chain to upload data related to their own role in the value chain. Upload that on either Food Trust or OpenSC, depending on where they're working. For that to be made available through a blockchain solution to us and to the other actors of the value chain and to consumers at the end, for them to be able to access this data. So it's really to try. We like the ability to break down data silos through blockchain. It's a relatively small, lightweight, easily implementable solution to do that versus what we've seen, very large database that were a bit cumbersome to implement at the scale that we have in Nestle. And it brings as well a very high level of trust in the data and the auditability in this data flow, which is something that we probably didn't have in the past with large centralized database. So this is why we've chosen to test and explore blockchain.
Or within the Asia Pacific region, especially, what are some of the countries where you're seeing these being used?
At the moment, the experiments we are running in Nestle are in Europe and in the Americas. We don't really have any experimentation going on in Asia Pacific, or at least that are available to the consumer and public. This is something we're working on. But we're not at the point yet to release these to consumers. There are things we're working on that will come next year to the consumers in Asia Pacific, but not yet available to consumers. So we know that there is an appetite for it in Asia. That's why we're working towards that. Now we've understand the technology very well. It's to go to consumers in Asia Pacific.
What are some of the benefits that you have seen of using this sort of tech for sustainability purposes?
It's create a trusted data flow where you can quantify and verify sustainability performance indicators in a very in an automated way. Where you can invite people to participate and support these efforts as part of the group commitment, for instance, carbon neutral in 2050. So this technology are coming together to allow us to do that. And then it's bringing it in an easy way and very easily understandable way to consumers, for them to have one place where they can verify and check these sustainability indicators from pertaining to our operation as well as the product they buy. So it's very important for us to do that, and blockchain is a technology that allows us to do it. As a whole, for transparency, it's something that I think is gaining momentum within the industry. You can see from, article, you can see that we are moving from, the hype part of blockchain to the actual practical and realistic power of blockchain, what we can do. And in our industry in particular, it's very important because transparency is something that consumers are asking more and more from a company like Nestle. And us as, the biggest food manufacturer, we have a duty of leading the industry into that direction. The technology is evolving as well to make it easier to implement and even more trustable than it is at the moment. What we are doing with OpenSC, we're the first big manufacturer to work with a public solution, which I think is another step change in transparency and traceability. I think there is I call that a perfect storm of technology coming to a level of maturity that enables us to deploy them at scale in Nestle and in the industry. Whether you talk about distributed ledger technology or blockchain, whether you talk about IoT, Internet of Things, or artificial intelligence, they are coming together to help us make our operation and our industry more efficient. And reduce the footprint we have, the environmental footprint, for instance, through this technology. So the industry itself is being disrupted. There is more demand for personalization, more demands for transparency. So we have to adapt to it, and this technology allow us to adapt to these changes in consumer behavior and demand. So it still remains challenging, but I think we have the right innovation, the right momentum behind this to adapt the industry to these changes.
Do you have any upcoming plans for further developing or expanding the system for any other products or commodities?
At the moment, there's nothing public that I can reveal, but there are work being done. There are projects and experiments across Nestle brands and across Nestle categories that will come to the consumers in the APAC region next year in 2020. So watch this space. You'll be able to access that and have more information about your product next year through blockchain.